Let me ask you a question. What's the most time-consuming part when painting an army? What's the part of the process that if you would eliminate, you would have the time spent on a model? Today we explore the topic of efficient painting once again. Hello fellow Hunters of the Blue and welcome to my channel and welcome to the fourth video about painting my Eldar army. Eldar have always been my favorite army, and with the incredible refresh they got this year, I will finally paint my childhood dream army. And in this video it's time to paint the Flying Boys, the Swooping Hawks. So let's get back to our initial question. For me the answer to that question is highlights. In the past I've done armies limiting myself to a single highlight all across, but I decided to try and do an army where I don't do a single highlight except for small details like gems, because I am that kind of horrible person. This episode of my army is sponsored by Vallejo to showcase the amazing Express range of paints and also a little bit of the new true metallic metal, but not in the way you're thinking, so stay tuned. And if you want to get some of the Vallejo products, I will leave a link in the description to my European partner Radadel. Are you ready? Let's get cracking. As you can see, we're starting from a base coat of bone spray, but any light spray will do. White will do just fine, light grey will do just fine. Just get the lightest spray you have. I just ran out of white coincidentally, but this bone color will serve just fine. And our first step is going to be to do a reverse zenithal using Warlord Purple from the Gamer range. I've chosen Warlord Purple because this really nice pink tone complements all of the colors we're going to put on top really nicely. With the reverse zenithal now done, as I said, we're going to now do a normal zenithal using white, and I'm going to be quite extreme with my zenithal. I'm not going to modulate this too much. At this point we usually do our oil wash, but I've been wanting to show you a really cool method of doing an oil wash without using oils, just acrylic paints, that works really well, and that if you are more apprehensive to use oils, will really open your arsenal to different techniques. And well, since this video is sponsored by Vallejo and they don't make oil paints, I think this is the perfect chance to do that. But to do that, first we need to gloss varnish our model. And for that I'm just going to use polyurethane gloss from Vallejo, of course. This gloss varnish will do two things. First of all, it's going to provide a smoother surface for our pin wash or our wash, and second of all, it's going to aid us on the cleaning, because yes, we're going to clean this. Just stay tuned. Our varnish has now cured. I usually leave this for at least a couple hours. You really want this to be really hard. And now I'm going to apply a wash. And for that wash, you can use any contrast type paints or any inks really, but I'm going to use the new true metallic metal shades. The reason behind this is because they are basically express, but they flow better into the recesses, they have better capillary action. The only drawback they have is they dry shiny, but because we're going to varnish over this anyways, well, there isn't any drawback. And the proportions I'm going to use is 1 part shade and 2 parts water. Just plain water. And we're going to apply this as if it was a oil wash. Don't be afraid of applying it over light places. In fact, and just because I'm really sure of my method, I'm going to apply a big dot there, just so you see that you don't have to be careful with this. And once this is applied, we're going to leave this to fully dry. This usually takes 20 to 30 minutes, but there is no time limit. You can wait till the next day, there is no problem here. That's why we did the gloss varnish. We really can take any time we want. And now comes the magic part trick. I'm going to use airbrush thinner from Vallejo to remove the shade, and for this I'm just going to use some cotton buds, which I'm going to submerge in the thinner like that. And with this and a little bit of patience, you can totally remove the wash from the underside places. And using this, I'm just going to clean up all of the raised details. This is obviously not going to be as effective as an oil wash, but it's going to provide something very similar in a more accessible way. This technique is inspired by the work of a legend of the scale model world, Chema Cabrero, which is again a titan of the scale model world, and he does something very similar. I saw him do this. He uses washes, Vallejo washes, and he doesn't even use varnish because the washes don't bite as much into the surface of the model. But for this kind of paints, which are really tinting, you really need a varnish underneath. This should be the final result, more or less something like that, and you can see how good that looks with all of the recesses peeked out and all of our nice airbrush gradient. You can see that off camera I did a base coat of black over all of the black details, and what I'm going to do now is a dry brush using white, and I usually recommend you use a satin white, because we're going to varnish over this anyway. We can use whatever we want, so I can use one of the nice model color whites. And what I'm trying to do, as you can see here, is just pick up all of the raised details and get a nice edge highlight, just like that. I'm obviously going to do that over all of the model, including the black. I applied a satin varnish over everything, and now we have a super nice result. Look at how cool that looks, and all of the hard work is now done. Now it's just applying simple express layers. I'm going to start with the body, which will be a mix of 1 part Caribbean turquoise, 1 part Wagram blue, and 1 part express medium. Remember, when you're using express paints, the most important thing is to do them section by section. That way you can control all of the pulling and all of the stuff. Gentle movements, be slow and methodical. That will give you the best result. And in this case, we want to be extra careful to not pick up any of the areas that we want to do in another color. But if you do, it's not a big deal. We can just go back with a white or something to clean it up. But obviously it's better if we don't have to. Because we're going section by section, we have time to go and take care of any pulling that might happen. I really love this color scheme because some of these magenta / purple shows through the desaturated teal layer, creating a super cool effect. I'm not going to concentrate on the wings because the inner feathers I'm going to do alternating pure Caribbean turquoise and a violet color. So be sure not to pick up all of the feathers with this, as I said, just alternating them. And be sure that you are picking up the same ones on the other wing, otherwise it's going to look a little bit weird. This is going to provide a slightly different turquoise color than the armor, and I think it's going to look quite good. For the other feathers, I'm going to go with gloomy violet. And finally, for the main colors, all of the remaining details are basically going to be yellow. And for that, my go-to will always be Dreadnought Yellow. To me, probably the best one-coat yellow ever made. Just look at how good that looks over our pre-shade. It's just like magic. And I've chosen to do my outer wings in yellow as well, just to keep with the theme. I really dislike painting white when it's mixed with so many other colors. I would have to base coat and shade this independently from the rest of the model, and I did that for the spiders if you want to see that, but I'm going to try and avoid that in the rest of my units if I can, because it's just a pain in the ass. If you make a mistake like I just did here, well, if you are quick, you can easily remove the express because it dries so slowly. Just keep on cleaning your brush and moving the paint out of the bits that shouldn't be yellow. That happens because I should have painted all of those details and I didn't. But again, not a big deal. Look at how quickly we cleaned that up. One thing you need to understand is that we all make mistakes. The only difference, and I really mean this, the only difference between a pro, as you may call it, and someone that it's just starting is that when a pro makes a mistake, he just fixes it and moves on as quickly as possible without any drama. But when a newcomer makes a mistake, well, it's usually the end of the world for them. So again, don't panic, just fix it and move on. Once you learn that valuable lesson, you can relax a little bit more and just enjoy your painting. For all of the leather, I'm going to use muddy ground. Remember, we don't really care about all of the metallic bits, so I can just go straight over with muddy ground over everything. Just note that I painted the inside mask with just some white, nothing else. I'm not even going to shade it, I'm just going to leave that there is a shade of the darker tone, and that's going to be it. And as the final touch, I'm just going to use Black Lotus over all of the black details as I usually do. Black Lotus over the black pre-shade with the white dry brush just looks absolutely amazing. This is essentially just a simplified version of my Zero Skill Black. The only thing left to paint would be the gems and the metallic details, which I'm not going to do in this video. If you want to see how I'm going to do them, I suggest you check my Fire Dragon video with all of those details, because it's just going to be the same as my Fire Dragon and I don't see the point. So go and check that video if you want to see the final steps. I am extremely happy with how the Swooping Hawks came out. With this method I can get a full unit painted in a super relaxed week or a long session during the weekend. I'm extremely impressed by how I could do this without using oils this time, just with a clever use of varnishes and incredible Vallejo products. Remember, I have videos on how to paint Fuegan to a box art standard in my Patreon, and I will start painting like this very soon. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget that if you like my videos and want to help me make them, you can follow me on social media. You have the links to all my social media in the description below and in the pinned comment of this video. Share and like this video, but most importantly, there is Patreon and channel members. Patrons and members allow me to do all the cool videos that I want to make, and most importantly, they allow me to keep releasing videos for free here on YouTube. Perks include access to an amazing Discord community full of lovely people, access to many more Patreon exclusive videos, and also private one-on-one online classes. Help me and join the list of the coolest persons in the planet, including 9 World 1 horses, Adam Foods, Adam Thaxton, Agon David, Al, Alex McDonough, Alan Hansen, Andy, Andrew Dyer, Andrei Mischenko, Angelos Alexou, Antoine Darbon, Arjet Lam, Avery Swanson, Bartosz Badensky, Big Beer 83, Biom, Bob Landrich, Bolsey, Bransky, Chase, Charles Armitage, Chris G, Chris Padmore, Christoph Moret, Christopher Weatherford, Kieran O'Murthail, Copper, Cory Trickler, Crystalius, Don Mako, Daniel Peach, Daniel Remin, Darcy Farrar, Dave Griffiths, David Smith, Dr. Cathabert, Dr. Vic, Emily Queen of Sloths, Emma Ren Stewart, Felix Franke, Fergal, Philip Bueca, Francis Harbord, Garrett Smith, Gary Hewitt, G-Force, Good Old Boys Podcast, Howard Hotville, Hyde Anderson, Ian, Jacob Morris, Jake Staines, Jason Lantrip, Jason Weber, Javi Mota, Jay Jones, Jimmy McL, John W, John Shute, Jorge Pardo Serrano, Justin May, Just Rex, Carl Jones, Kevin Marshall, Kevin Sulas, Killaman21, Lafarel, Lelapin Troll, Leonard Lindemann, Luke Rubius Camhall, Mailbox 2112, Manuel Martinez Lavin, Mark Jarvis, Mark Watson, Matheus Babiuk, Matt Wallis, Matthew Lang, Michael Bro, Michael Holtz, Nasser Luta, Natius Maximus, Nicholas David, One Eye Wonder, One Early Dude, Oscar Therein Bebia, Oscar Jonathan Thomberg, Pablo Cuesta, Baited by Tainted, Palaskate, Rand Username, Richard St. Pierre, Robert Fuller, Robert Macmillan, Roger Nelson, Sebastian A, Spicy Joe, Square Wave, Stavros Stavro, Stefan Zimmerman, Stephen K, Stirling Coulter Hayward, Swallox, Tyrek, Terry Denham, The Cosmic Serpent, 3Gs, Tristan Lenard, Ben de Vogel Alain, Ventur, Severin Dombrava, and Soil CJFed. And as for me, I will catch you in the next one. Bye!